Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel on another ridiculously hot and humid day out here. It's probably already 90 degrees and 1,000,000% humidity at 9 a.m. and it is not very pretty out here, but we've got some testing to do, so we're gonna get it done anyway regardless of what the heat is. But first up for today, to start out with, I've got a pretty interesting concept here, but one that actually does make a little bit of sense. So a few of you guys, especially Keith from Salt Creek Ammunition, have said that I should test this or have requested this, so we're going to bring it out and see what it might actually be able to do. So for the load we've got out here today, we've got some of the Federal Grand Slam loads. These are the 12 gauge 3-inch 1 3/4 ounce of number 5s going 1,200 feet per second. And those shells have been okay as far as a turkey load, but definitely not anything impressive. So I'm really curious to see if this potential concept might actually help these. So as for the setup we're going to be running out here today, I've brought back out my Remington 1187 Premier. However, I threw in the factory modified choke, which that's not at all what you would expect for a turkey load. But it kind of makes sense in this scenario if we dive into it a little bit. So those Grand Slams have the Federal Flight Control Wad, which is designed to perform well through more open chokes. So the thought process here is maybe that a much more open choke, like a modified, kind of like what the Flight Control Wad in of itself is more designed towards, may actually help this pattern a little bit better. It makes sense, but I really don't know. I don't expect to see a lot of amazing results out of these shells just from what we've tested already, but I don't know, maybe it actually will do something for us. But as for the test, we have the usual setup, which is the turkey target at 40 yards. I do have the chronograph, so we'll be able to see how close we get to the box posted 1,200 feet per second. So let's take you guys over here and get you set up by the target. I'll head up and I'll shoot our shot. We'll glance at our chrono number and then we'll go see how they perform. So let's head over here and shoot them and see what kind of performance we can get out of this modified choke. Okay, so that round gave us 1129 through the chronograph. The box called for 1,200, so we're 71 feet per second under what the box claimed, as a bug just flew through my chronograph. But that 1129 is still within the range of typical turkey loads, especially lead loads like that. So nothing too out of the ordinary. So let's head down to the target and see how it actually did downrange. Alright, so this is the results we got down here at our 40-yard paper. Now, right off the bat, yes, we do have a dead turkey. There is 2 that hit the spine right there. But clearly, if we back up and look at the whole paper here, that modified choke did not help us out any with that flight control wad. I had my doubts, to be honest with you, but the concept did absolutely make sense. But just from my testing with these loads, these are just not very ideal in my opinion. Now, that would have been a relatively decent looking waterfowl pattern, but these are lead 5s, so that's kind of out of the question there. But at the end of the day, it still would have been a dead bird, but clearly these loads seem to do better with an actual turkey choke so far anyway. But with that being said, they're still not anything impressive, especially considering these are the same price and sitting on the same exact shelf as the Winchester Longbeard loads. Just get the Longbeard loads. They are so much better than what these are. I know some people have had good results with these loads, but I have not seen it out of any of my setups or chokes or anything like that that I've tried to run them through. So for me, these are just more of a test load to make sure that a red dot is sighted in on a turkey gun or something like that. This is just not a load that I would prefer to use out there for my turkey hunts. Okay, and this is that Federal Flight Control Wad, and it looks perfect just like they always do really. It deployed from the rear just like it was supposed to, and it didn't do anything as far as shredding or ripping or anything like that up here at the front. No pellets or anything stuck down in there, so it did what it was supposed to do as far as the wad function, but it just did not help us. So I just don't think, even though it is a flight control wad, I just don't think it's enough to actually help the performance of those shells. They're just not anything super amazing. Alright y'all, well, what did you think? Is that about what you expected to see? I had my doubts because of just what I've seen from those loads before. They're just not all that great in my opinion. But The thought process and the idea was definitely there, and it could have actually made a difference, but as we can clearly see here, I don't believe it really helped us any. If I was going to use this load, I would just stick to your typical turkey chokes and constrictions, 660, 665, that kind of stuff. Try it and see whatever your gun might like the best. But at the end of the day, the Longbeard loads are essentially the exact same price, and they are a far superior shell. But what do you guys think about this, and what has been your experience with these shells? If you're one of those people that has had decent results, what kind of setup are you running? But either way, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts about it, and I'm going to jump back to testing, and I'll see y'all in the next one.